In this video, I will be showing a bounty rework because as of now, the biggest complaint people have about bounty um, are the bad randoms jumping in and losing the game because they can't stay back and play passively. This makes bounty one of the most hated, frustrating, and dare I say, rage baiting game modes in the game. I also feel the blue star only has value at the start and end of the game, and it doesn't matter who has it in the middle of the game. Right now, I'll go over all of the fixes I'm suggesting, and then after, I'll explain why I chose all of these different fixes. The first change I'm suggesting is that the target number of stars as well as the number of stars every player spawns in with will be inflated by a factor of 5, so 100 and then 10 respectively. All other star values will also be increased by a factor of 5, so that includes like the number of stars you get from a kill and the number of stars. Second change I'm suggesting is that the blue star now gives you 1 star towards your goal every 5 seconds while you or one of your teammates are holding it. Next, each time a player dies, the number of stars they respawn with is decreased by 2, and that has a minimum of 2, so you can't go to 0 or beyond. And then finally, this one's more of a just stylistic change, and there will be a new visual above each player's head, so instead of showing like 24 stars, 24 individual stars above someone's head, it'll just show 1 star and then the number of stars that they have on that star. So I have a little visual there in the bottom right corner of my graphic to show how it will look. Also, the numbers were inflated in order to make changing values easier. It is hard to make smaller changes when the target number is 20. It is unrealistic and untidy to start doing factor or fractions of stars. This also makes it easier to balance, so you can change it just a little bit, because again, changing 1 when the target is 20 makes a huge difference compared to changing 1 when the goal is 100. As I mentioned at the start, I wanted to give the blue stars some value throughout the match. Right now, the blue star is only valuable at the start for an extra point, and at the end in case of a tie. I feel the blue star is useless in the middle of the game, and it is some wasted potential. Now, players have a reason to target players for the chance to get more points on top of the value they would have gotten from just killing them. This will not only subconsciously place a bounty, see what I did there, on a specific brawler, but give any player who obtains it more reason to play passive, as the game mode should be played. This should be supported with a "you have the blue star, stay back" text pop-up. As I mentioned before, all star values will be increased by a factor of 5, so that means when you first collect it at the start of the game, you'll get 5 stars instead of just 1. The third suggestion, which was decreasing the number of stars you respawn with based on how many times you die. This was to fix the biggest issue I mentioned earlier of your bad randoms throwing the game and giving the other team a lot of stars. The fact that the number of stars they respawn with now decreases now limits the impact of their poor skill on their teammates and gives the enemies a reason to shift their attention to someone else. I kind of mentioned before, but this last change is pretty self-explanatory. Instead of showing like 24 stars above someone's head, it'll just show the star and then the number value pancaked on top of that star. A little note that I like to add on all of my videos is that all numerical values have not been tested, obviously. and they are all subject to change. All the values have been kept as similar to the current version of Bounty as possible. Um, this may make Bounty more complicated mode, so it may need some supporting text pop-ups, like I mentioned earlier with the blue star, in order to guide newer players through their first couple of games and beyond. This change was more targeted between casual players. All players that solo queue into matches have all dealt with bad randoms and bounty, and this should improve that. All players that play in teams will likely not be impacted by this change, but obviously it will have a little impact if you're playing with good players. That is everything I have to say. If you have any further questions or comments, I sometimes miss little things or little interactions. Obviously, it's easier to work in a team. That's why Supercell is not one person. So if you have any things, comment it down. And if you like this video, then obviously like it. If you want to see more of my reworks and concepts, that's what I've moved more towards with my channel. Please consider subscribing. My goal is 25 subscribers right now, so I can start joining the, or no, sorry, it's 100, I believe, to start in the Supercell Creator Program. Alright, well, thanks for watching all the way through. I hope you can see my next video. I suggest you should. I don't know what it is now. I haven't really thought of anything. But I made a brawler concept a while ago, and I was really proud of how it turned out. So if you want to see that, I'll leave a tab to it right now. I also made a Chuck rework that was probably a week ago now. Also leave a tab to it right here. And again, thank you for watching all the way through, and see you in the next one.